though, is this Peter Strzok. As I recall, he originally said he would voluntarily testify, that he wanted to get out and tell his story, but then you heard his attorney in that clip say that he may not show up.
Well, I'm certainly sorry if anyone hurt his feelings last week during the 13 hours we spent. But the only thing I did was go over what he had written. So if he's offended with things that he wrote. He wrote a lot of text. There are emails. It's an unprecedented level of animus. So, of course, he's going to be asked, what did you mean? I can't use all of the words on a family-friendly show like yours, but what did you mean by blanking abysmal? What did you mean by blanking this? We went through all of his texts. Here's what's important, Jason. He's supposed to be investigating Hillary Clinton for potential violations of the Espionage Act. In March of 2016, when he's supposed to be investigating her, he hadn't even interviewed her yet. He thinks that she should win the presidency 100 million to 0. Jason, she wasn't even the nominee at the time. They didn't even have a Republican nominee at the time. But she's going to win 100 million to 0 in March of 2016, and this according to the guy who's supposed to be dispassionately and objectively interviewing her. Then in July, when the Russia probe started, he is saying terrible things about the very person he's supposed to be objectively investigating. And then we get to the Mueller probe. You know, I mean, he's been on all three: Hillary Clinton, Russia probe, Mueller probe, until they found his text. He's talking about impeachment even before the House Democrats and MSNBC were talking about impeachment. He hadn't been on the case 3 days before he's already talking about impeaching the president. So, of course, we're going to have a lot of questions for him, and some of them might actually be uncomfortable. But he's going to come before a public hearing, whether his lawyer thinks he is or not. He's coming. I'm sure he would rather go in front of Adam Schiff. That's what I read. He'd rather go in front of Adam Schiff. They got a lot in common. They both wanted Hillary Clinton to be president. I get why he wants to go there. But he's going to come before our two committees, whether he wants to or not.
Well, you know, look, Peter Strzok did not have an insignificant job. As I like to say, he didn't work for the Fish and Wildlife Department. He was the #2 person in counterintelligence for the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation. They have tens of thousands of people to choose from. Have you been able to find out why is it that he was selected or appointed to go be on the Mueller probe?
Well, you got to go all the way back to Clinton. He was on the Clinton probe. And then in July, not only was he on the Russia probe pre-Mueller, he was the lead agent on the Russia probe pre-Mueller. So in July of 2016, we just gotten through with Jim Comey with that unprecedented press conference. And 3 weeks later, he's working on Donald Trump's campaign and the Russia probe. I think that group was then transposed over onto the Russia probe, and then many of them were transposed over onto the Mueller probe. I will give Mueller credit for this. The moment he found out about these texts, he got rid of Peter Strzok. But here's what you ought to be asking yourself. If it was bad enough for Bob Mueller to get rid of him, the moment he found out about the text, these texts weren't written in March of 2017. They were written in March of 2016. So he never should have been on any of these three probes. If the animus was enough to kick him off when you found it, the animus should have been enough to kick him off when he said it, which was early in 2016. Completely the wrong person. The FBI's reputation, look, there are lots and lots of fantastic FBI agents, 99.9% of them. But to pick this person, and not just him, Lisa Page and other heretofore not identified FBI agents. You remember when Jim Comey, I think you were in the committee room, when Jim Comey said the FBI didn't give a hoot about politics?
Yeah.
Go read these texts. They gave a lot more than a hoot about who was going to be the Democrat nominee and whether Donald Trump would win.
Well, real quickly, because I only got a few seconds, Lisa Page was on the other end of those texts. What's going to happen with her?
She's coming too. I mean, I heard your guests that were on before me, Jason. I just disagree with them. I think anytime you have a chance to spend 12 hours with a witness, you ought to spend it. I get 5 minutes with Peter Strzok in a public hearing. Yeah. I got 10 hours with him last week. So we're going to interview her, and then I hope we have a public hearing with her. But it's more important to me that all these questions get asked on the record. Talk about, I mean, if you want a serious investigation, pick the 10 hours over the 5 minutes is what I would tell my fellow citizens.
Yes, and they need to get the documents from the Department of Justice. Trey Gowdy, thank
Amen.
you so much for joining us tonight.